Hey, what is going on, everybody out there? This is Jake James Lugo, Senior Editor here at thecoalition.com. I got a brand new interview for you guys that hopefully you're going to enjoy. It's going to be about Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet from Bandai Namco. I actually have two people from Bandai Namco of America to chat a little bit with about the game. So I got Randy Lay, who is the project lead of Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet, as well as also Cyrus Weston, who is the community manager of Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet. So gentlemen, thank you for chatting it up with me. How's everything going?
It's great, great. Thanks for having us.
Great to be here. Really excited to do this interview, Jake.
Thank you. Appreciate it. So let's talk a little bit about the game. So this right now is about the fourth game in as far as, related to Sword Art Online. There's been about three previous games. We had, was it Hollow Fragment, we had Lost Song, and we had Hollow Realization. Now, what's different about this one from what I've noticed is that it's based on Sword Art Online 2, which is the second, I guess you could say, MMO, or like the second or third season of the anime, manga, etc. I wanted to know why all of a sudden now we have another different gameplay style for this particular game. Because if you guys listening to this remember, we've had a variety of different gameplay styles. We've had an MMO-like type of style. We've had an action RPG. And now this one, it feels more like a third-person shooter. Why the change in gameplay?
Well, so technically this is the fifth game in the series. So like you mentioned, this does introduce a new gameplay mechanic. But as you can tell from the previous games, we've taken players to Ironcrad by introducing Ironground, and we took players to Alfheim through Spar Alfheim, and it was just a natural progression to go into Gun Gale Online, which was the other area of which the anime takes place.
Yeah, just to give a little bit more background, in Gun Gale Online, Season 2 of Sword Art Online, that world is really just focused on the flying bullets and being able to dodge bullets and reflect bullets back with photon swords and being able to snipe your opponents. So it made sense to have a new game engine, new game style for this world.
So one of the other things that I noticed is that the game is overall a lot more faster than the previous games, obviously because of the new gameplay style, with it being based on the new MMO from Sword Art Online 2. I mean, do you think this is going to be a lot more exciting for players and for fans of the series compared to the previous games?
Yeah, definitely. We have great partners at DIMPS, who is helping us develop this title. And then, with the quick action gameplay, it's all really being honed in by the Unreal Engine 4 that's really bringing it out to the consumers for them to play.
And honestly, when you watch the series, you'll notice that in this world, when they do get to Gun Gale Online, the actual fighting mechanics get a lot faster. Kirito has to get faster within that world in order to be able to play this game and be able to fight his opponents. So that's another reason why we up the speed on this gameplay.
So I got a chance to see some of the streams that you guys did. I saw a little bit of the gameplay that you guys were showing to everybody, because the game's coming out later this month, very, very soon, in about a week or so, I want to say. And one of the things that I also noticed is that you guys got very large environments. Now, from my experience, I reviewed the previous Sword Art Online game, Hollow Realization, here on the website, and that game had very large environments, and it was tuned to that particular style of game. Are the environments in this one, this particular game in Fatal Bullet, are they larger than in the previous games, or is there going to be more stuff populating the environments that people are going to be able to explore?
You can definitely say that the environments are more dynamic and probably a bit more inviting to jump into. They're also more interactive. On the scale size, I would say that they're a bit bigger. They're a bit bigger for you to jump into.
Cool. So I wanted to know also, because in the previous games, we've had a lot of different examples of like original content related to that game. It's kind of spanning off a little bit from the light novels, from the anime and the manga, etc. Are we going to get that as well in Fatal Bullet? There's going to be like new characters we run into, or like original storylines that are maybe tangential to what the source material is?
Yeah, so this game introduces a brand new original story that's actually supervised by the series creator, Reki Kawahara. And it really puts you into the game. For this game, we focused on the player actually being the main protagonist in their journey. So it all revolves around you, and you will be introduced to new areas that actually aren't introduced in the anime. You'll be introduced to new characters, new weapons, and so on and so forth. It's a lot of new environments as well, and just a lot of new.
And just to touch on that, what Randy just said, one of the big points about this game is truly customizing your own character. As somebody who played Hollow Realization and played Hollow Fragment, and is a huge Sword Art fan myself, that's what I'm really excited for, is being able to customize my own character, being able to put a little hairstyle on him or her, and throw some highlights or some tattoos or cat whiskers onto my person, and then be able to jump into this world of Gun Gale Online, which I've always wanted to do. So that's what we're really excited for, is people being able to jump into this story and create their own story as they play, because really you are the hero in this game.
That's pretty cool. Now, I'm curious though, why step away from having Kirito as the central character, or at least, the playable character that the player experiences the game through? I mean, in the previous games, obviously, you've played as Kirito and you were able to customize him to a certain extent. But why so much this one? Why put more of the emphasis on the player like that?
With such a dynamic environment and such large areas to explore, it's really a great opportunity for players new and old for them to jump into an experience where they are actually the hero. Now, just because you're not Kirito this time around doesn't mean that you won't run into him. Kirito and all of his friends are in this series, in this particular game as well.
And in addition to that, all of these series all of these worlds that the series is focused on, whether or not you're looking at Alfheim or Aincrad or Gun Gale Online, it truly is an MMO. What the series is focused on. So we wanted to bring that world to the actual game and give you your own character that you could then jump into this world and explore in.
So speaking of customizable items, are we going to see a lot of that? Is there going to be more items, obviously, to give your own type of style and flair for your character, more so than the previous games? Are we going to get other references, to stuff outside maybe of the light novels or the anime and the manga that maybe won't be so kind of like up front, to the more kind of common Sword Art Online fan?
To answer that question, I wanted to posit a question back to you, Jake. Have you ever wanted to hold a rocket launcher in a video game? Because you can do that in this one. If you want a sniper rifle, you can do that. If you want an auto machine gun, you can do that. There's a lot of customization that you can do in this game. And even if you just wanted to rock a photon sword and learn how to deflect bullets, you can do that as well. We want people to be able to really experience this game in their own style. And we've actually been posting about all of these different weapon types that you can use on our social channels. So there are pictures of custom created characters with rocket launchers and with sniper rifles. And if you want to see those, you can go to Bandai Namco US on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram to see all of that content.
Yeah, that was going to lead into my next question, is like the different types of weapons and the different types of play styles that you could have. I mean, with all the different weapon types that you have mentioned, are, rolling around with a rocket launcher as opposed to like an assault rifle or anything else, are there going to be like, multiple styles of gameplay, for different characters? So as opposed to being like a heavy arms guy, that might run slower but have like a super powerful rocket launcher, compared to someone that has like an assault rifle, be able to be more mobile? Is it going to really kind of change the dynamic of like the different missions and other stuff that you get involved with in the game?
So that's really up to you. As Cyrus mentioned, you are the hero, and this is your story. So you get to choose how your character plays. Something that's really interesting about this series is that we have two different palettes that you can actually call upon. So you have a skills palette and a gadget palette. And the skill palettes actually give you special abilities that tie to different weapon classes. So as Cyrus mentioned earlier as well, it's, if you want to deflect bullets with your photon sword, you can easily apply that to your skill palette for your photon sword. If you want to fire off like a giant fire bullet with your rocket launcher, that's something that you can customize as well. So it's really just depending on your playstyle and how you want to experience the story.
And just adding on to you customizing your own playstyle, we've also introduced a new technique, or really it's a new tool called the UFG, which stands for Ultimate Fiber Gun. Really, this is a grappling tool that allows you to grapple to high places or different surfaces in order to truly make the entire world that you're in incredibly interactive. So, you can be playing, rushing an opponent, really, and see that there are a couple more enemies behind them. And if you wanted to get to a high space and then switch from your submachine gun to your sniper rifle, you can do that. So that honestly allows for a lot of different players to switch up their styles instantly. And that, in combination with the different gadget palettes and the skills palettes, allows you to truly make this game your own.
So I've seen in some of the streams that you guys have had, you guys have talked a little bit about multiplayer. You talked about PvP and you talked about co-op stuff. What is multiplayer going to be like in this game?
So multiplayer is specifically in the PvP realm. It's a 4v4 mode where 4 players will be put up against each other, battling to get the most points by taking down an enemy. It's a high-level enemy, so you'll be kind of shooting at it from all different areas. But at the same time, your opponents will be able to shoot you down too. So it's really about being strategic and communicating with your partners and the best way to get the most points.
And we'll actually be hosting a launch live stream on February 22nd, where we're going to show off the different PvP and PvE modes, so that everybody can see what this multiplayer has to offer.
So, speaking of PvE, I mean, I saw one of the big boss battles that you guys had. I believe in one of your streams. It was against this gatekeeper. It was like a giant robot that I saw that you guys were fighting. And obviously, it's a large-scale battle. Are there going to be a lot of battles like that, or can the battles get even bigger and a little bit more crazier or complex for that matter? Especially whether you go solo or, again, PvE with multiple people.
Yeah, I mean that was a giant monster as you saw. I mean, it took
Sentinel, really. It's huge.
It took
it was pretty big
to bring that thing down. But I mean, you can expect enemies of that stature throughout the journey. I mean, they scale from small to large, and they're all difficult in their own ways.
Now, getting into like big battles like that, or again, important battles throughout the entirety of the game, are you going to be able to get like newer customization options from taking on much more tougher challenges like that? You know, stuff that maybe like elite players are going to be able to kind of like wear and show off to other players for taking on like ridiculously tough challenges?
Yeah, so there will be item drops, going from common to rare, and that just kind of depends on who you take down. In addition to that, I mean, once you take down a boss, you also gain skill points that you can equip to your player, and you can kind of increase their strengths, their abilities, all the way up to their dexterity. So, there's a lot of customization items and things out there for players to find out.
And I spoke about the UFG earlier, the Ultimate Fiber Gun, but let me give your viewers a little tip. If you use the Ultimate Fiber Gun to hit one of the enemies that you're facing off against, you'll also be able to get items from them. So that adds a whole new feature to how you play this game. If there are certain weapons that you want, you might be able to get them through that technique.
Pretty cool. Now, obviously, most of the Sword Art Online games have DLC. They have like various different pieces of DLC that players could get, whether it's on PlayStation Network or otherwise. I mean, is Fatal Bullet going to have a steady stream of DLC, like extra costumes or even extra missions?
Yeah, we have a season pass currently available, and that will give players access to 3 different DLC packs available post-launch, and it unlocks new missions, quests, accessories, player characters, etc. So there will be a stream of content post-launch to kind of support players keep on playing. In addition, right now, if you pre-order the game, you get Kirito and Asuna's Ironclad costumes to equip onto your own player. So there's
Wait,
that.
You're telling me I can look like Kirito?
Yeah, don't you want to be the Black Swordsman?
Yes! Awesome! That's amazing news.
Can't have Kirito doppelganger. So when you meet Kirito in the game, obviously you look like him. You'll be like his twin, almost.
Kinda and like he'll just be confused, and then you go from there and take on the world.
So speaking of DLC as well, to spin off from that, and again, I don't know how much you guys can really comment on this, but I'll ask anyway. What about crossover DLC or collaborations? Because obviously a lot of games now, and I think even a couple other Bandai Namco games have had collaborations for downloadable content, that borrow from like other properties and stuff. And obviously there've been other anime-based games coming out from Bandai Namco. Can we expect that sometime in the nearby future post-launch?
You can expect new playable characters from the newly announced AGGO, the Alternative Gun Gale line. So we have Len and Patu, who will be in the game as well. So, there'll be appearances from characters from the series.
Pretty cool. So, again, any other like final comments or final things you want to tell fans out there of Sword Art Online that are probably eagerly awaiting this game? Because it comes out in about a week or so. But February 23rd is the release date, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. The only thing that I really want to tell fans is that, speaking from a fan perspective, I've played all of the different Sword Art games that came out. This is truly the one that you are going to want to play with your friends, by yourself at home, creating your own custom character, equipping different skill points, figuring out, okay, do I want to play as a strength base player, or do I want more vitality? How am I going to take out these, Valkyrie-esque robots? How am I going to take out this Sentinel? What skills are going to allow me to, figure out how to beat these missions? It's one of the most dynamic Sword Art games that we've ever had, and we're just really excited for all the fans to get their hands on it.
Awesome. I can't wait to check it out. I'm looking forward to it. Again, speaking as an SAO fan myself, I love when seeing these types of games come out, because it's always just fun to kind of, partake in the festivities and check them all out and stuff. But Randy, Cyrus, thank you for chatting it up with me about SAO, Fatal Bullet. Can't wait to play the game. Make sure you guys leave me a comment down below in the comment section. Make sure you leave a like on this video as well. And tell me a little bit about what you guys are looking forward to with Fatal Bullet by the time it comes out. We're going to have more interviews for more upcoming games very, very soon here on the Koalition YouTube channel and the website. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one, and we will talk to you guys again real soon. Peace out, and stay epic, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.